is a simple way to show the path to a decision. Answer is there in the word decision. It is a path. It is a pictorial way of representing, and it is one of the data mining technique which is there on the slide. Okay. So let us just recap for 2 minutes what we have done yesterday. So we have discussed about the understanding the concept of decision tree, and introduction to decision tree we are done. And there is a one simple what is that cardiac disease data. So from the US San Diego, so concerned the heart disease data we have taken to analyze ourselves that what kind of the decisions we can make it, and what kind of an algorithm we can apply it, and what is the objective of that particular patient data, how we have been segregated as the different categories based upon the criteria. So we have discussed that, and we could really answer for 2, 3, 4 questions yesterday for that case study. Then we have discussed about the decision tree problem also. Yesterday, the second topic. So the decision tree problem. So I took an example scenario of me or you going to a doctor with some kind of a ailment, so some kind of issues in the health. Then how the doctor is going to predict and how the doctor is going to determine the cause of the ailment by asking n number of questions which is relevant to the patient, means relevant to me and you, right? So then we have seen even there are a lot of predictive accuracies based on some kind of considerations what we have to make. So 3 considerations also we have discussed. Okay, then we have seen a sample data which is an case study or an example case study to understand this decision tree, right? So we have taken the outdoor game play, so the play of an outdoor game. So the data was not supposed to be shown, but I showed it to you from the textbook, but due to yesterday's issues of my laptop and all, I could not show you the data really in the slide. So let us quickly look into that information. So this particular module, let me give you the summary of this particular module. So as I mentioned, we are going to learn and thoroughly understand the 5 important techniques of the data mining process, but it is not comprising of only one kind of a technique, one kind of a learning. So it has been categorized as 2 parts. We know that. Okay. So one is supervised learning, another one is unsupervised learning. But the first 3 techniques, what we are going to learn from, from yesterday we started, and we are going to learn in the consecutive classes, that is decision tree, regression, artificial neural network. So which will be dealt by the section 2 of textbook 2 and the 3 chapters, which is nothing but supervised learning. Supervised learning. Okay. So these are the supervised learning techniques, which is consisting of classification concept. So the next 2 techniques, what we are going to learn it as chapter number 9, which is going to cover about the clustered analysis. Chapter number 10, which is going to be covered with the association rule mining or association rule technique. So which is an unsupervised learning, which is helping us to do the exploration of the data. So here classification we are going to touch, and there we are going to touch upon the data exploration part. So like this, the whole module is comprising of 5 important data mining techniques, both supervised, unsupervised. We are going to learn it. Okay, so just it's a recap of from yesterday's class. Now, the learning objectives also we derived. We understood even the concept of decision tree yesterday, and we came to know a bit of importance of decision tree, but still we are learning that through a case study and the sample data set to understand the importance of decision tree in the data mining. Then we are going to construct, and today probably we will complete even the construction of the decision tree. We will see how much here we can construct. So we will see and we will understand the whole scenario of how to construct the decision tree from a given data set. And we are going to know about the algorithm of making the decision trees and the comparative features for the decision tree. Okay, next. Even we are done with this. The decision tree would have a predictive accuracy based upon how often it can make the correct decisions. Okay, so the 3 considerations I have discussed. Then we have done with even this sample, but still I would like to do it once again. Means I need to discuss this data set, because this data set is only helping us to construct the decision tree. Now after a few minutes we will be doing that. Okay, so this is a sample data set wherein we are trying to work it out on a decision tree construction on a play on a outdoor. Okay, play as a outdoor game. So some play I need to play in a outdoor games. So outdoor field or outdoor stadium or whatever it is. Okay, but it is outdoor. Generically, what game also we are not concentrating here. But there are 5 important attributes or parameters which are very much important for us to consider. So one is outlook, that is whether the sunny or overcast or it is rainy. So the 3 possibilities of the outlook of the atmosphere. Then the temperature, whether it is a cool temperature or hot temperature or mild normal temperature, that means to say. Humidity, yesterday only I told you, normal humidity, high humidity. Okay, moderate also can come, but in the sample data set, we're not talking about the moderate. Okay, normal and high only we are talking about, or we are considering about the 2 values for humidity. And windy, it is only a Boolean value, true or false, whether it is windy or not a windy. So true, not true. So like that. And play, whether we are going to play or we are not going to play. So true or false, again, that is yes or no is the value which has been given in the data set. And there are 3 disadvantages also we have discussed about the concept of understanding the decision tree construction. So as mentioned earlier, how to decide if there is not a row that corresponds to the exact situation today. See, now morning it is not too sunny, it is a bit cloudy only, but I don't have such kind of the data in my table. Okay, so if there is no exact matching instance available in my table, then how will I make my decision? So I need to make an understanding of early morning data or yesterday evening data or yesterday morning data by 9 o'clock. So how was the temperature? How was the weather yesterday? So I can start digging into that. But completely the past experience cannot give us the guidelines to give a better decision. But we can try to make use of it as a past history for comparison purpose. So I need to have an exact matching instance available in my table for the current scenario or for the current situation. So then only we can make a decision. So that's why it is one of the disadvantage. So if we don't have a relevant, if we don't have the data which is correspondingly giving us the exact circumstance of today, so then it is very difficult for us to make the decision through decision tree concept. So this is one of the disadvantage. The second disadvantage is, okay, the searching through the entire past database may be time consuming, yes, obviously, because it's not like 1 or 10 or 100 records. It could be plenty of records. We cannot really say that. Huge amount of data. So depending on the number of variables and the organization of the database. So it is one of the disadvantage. We cannot really search it. It cannot be 5 variable also. It could be 500 variable or 5,000 variable data what we are trying to use it for our analytical perspective of the decision tree algorithm or technique to be applied. The third disadvantage is, what if the data values are not available for the variables? So something is nil. Something is nil. They didn't give null value. They have given something is some irrelevant data. We are talking about play or not to play. That is yes or no. But I am getting ABC, XYZ, Nirmala, something like that. The stream of characters under the play column, isn't it? If the data is not available or irrelevant data is available, then also it is going to give us a problem. Means it is not helping us to really do a better and accurate, efficient decision. Okay, so this is about the 3 disadvantages of looking up the data from the data table. Okay, so the next is the one, the today's concept. So just I refreshed your the knowledge what we learned yesterday. So let us do quickly the decision tree construction. Decision tree construction. So when I say decision tree construction, so we know that decision tree is an hierarchical structure, isn't it? So when I say hierarchy, so let us assume our own organization hierarchy means chairman, CED sir, principal sir, then HOD sirs. Then under HOD sir, the professor, associate professor, assistant professor, then again might be an assistant, teaching assistant, something like that, instructor, admin, like that it comes. So there is a hierarchy, means there is a branch in a tree. We can observe my root is chairman sir, and the leaf nodes are the students, to be frank. Okay, the leaves are the last level information is the student information. Okay, so decision tree is also being called or defined as a hierarchical branched structure. So hierarchical branched structure, and to be frank, when I say hierarchical branch structure, so what you really get into your mind? Hierarchical branch. So what did you get normally when we take our own organization as an example? Who is going to sit under whom in the tree? I'm asking you. So chairman sir is the root. Then the one child, the CED sir. Then under CED sir, one the branch. Another branch is the third level is principal sir. But under principal sir, we will have lot of branches. So there is no limitation based upon the number of departments available or existing in the organization. We will get the HODs, the program coordinators, heads of the different verticals, or the registrar sir, or dean academics, something like that. The hierarchy could be derived. Again, under HOD, it is not one or two persons. All the team of the department, irrespective whether the designation or the cadre is professor, assistant professor, associate professor, clerk, instructor, system admin, something like that, isn't it? So there we try to segregate or branch the data. So that's why it is being called as hierarchical branched structure. Hierarchical branched structure. So what should be the first question asked when you are trying to create a tree? So let us understand ourselves that we are trying to design a tree. And I already told you the scenario. So what is the first question which will come into our mind when we are trying to create a tree? So what is the question? So one important and more important question. As you are the designer and the developer, so you need to ask this same kind of a question to your client. And initially when I said we need to ask a lot of questions, the doctor does the same thing, right? Before predicting or prescribing the medicine to me and you. But there are highest priority questions and the least priority questions. We cannot really touch the lowest priority questions first. We need to first ask the highest priority question or most important question first, then the less important questions later. So what is the most important question which can be asked to solve a problem? So you need to ask to the patient who walks in to a doctor, should ask, okay, what is the problem? First question is that only. What happened? Even what is the problem or what happened only they'll ask. But just looking our face, they will not start predicting, oh, you got cold, you got fever. No, there is no such kind of conversation or question and answers. Conversations will never happen like that. So how importance of the questions to be determined, that is most important. Okay, how is the importance of the questions determined? So thus we will be in a position to identify, or we will be in a position to identify the root node of such kind of a tree what we are trying to construct it. So we will be in a position to determine the root node, like how I said, the first level, chairman sir, then CED sir, then principal sir, then n number of HODs, then under each HOD n number of employees. Again you can categorize professor, under professor 3, under associate 3, under assistant 10, something like that, right? So we need to determine the root node of the tree which is most important. So that's what I have given you there as a content in the slide. The first step in the decision tree construction is you need to determine the root node of the tree. So determining the root node of the tree is the first and foremost thing. Now, let us come back from our organization to our the syllabus case study. So which is an outdoor play case study. Okay, so when we see the data sample, so let me go back to the data set. Okay, this is the data set. So when we look at this data set, so what are the choices we can do it based upon these variables, and how many variables does it require for us initially? Anybody could answer? Answer to my question. So my question is, there are 5 variables 5 attributes given in the data set as outlook, temperature, humidity, windy, play. So now, how many choices based upon these variables we need to consider in this example data set to go ahead for identifying or determining the root node of the tree? So what could be the root, or what are the parameters or variables we need to consider? Please answer to me. Even if it is wrong, there is no absolute problem. We are here to answer correctly by open discussions and understanding and interacting. So tell me, anyone. One can begin with the asking question. When this data set is given to you, or when somebody asks you to go play, immediately what is the question you are going to answer? Okay, the play is not indoor game, it is outdoor game. So play an outdoor game. This is the situation you are in. Now what do we do? Tell me. Are you all there with me? Are you all there with me? Listening to me?
Yes.
Then answer to me. What is the important or the question to begin with? When you are supposed to go and play outside, or let us assume that your mother will ask you to go play outside. Not in this age, I do agree. When you are in the childhood, might be assumed that you are less than 10 years old. What would you been done? You need to see the outlook, right? Can a mother send a child in the midday, exactly 12 o'clock, very hot sunny day? Did the mother send the child to play outside in the ground? Okay, rarely we may send, not every time, right?